Terminator would never stop. It would never leave him. It would always be there. And it would die to protect him.
Two of the most iconic sci-fi franchises of all time, The Terminator and The Matrix, might be more connected than you think. Both explore the rise of artificial intelligence, the collapse of human freedom, and the idea of a savior destined to lead humanity out of despair. But what if these stories weren't just similar? What if they're part of the same universe? A universe rooted not just in science fiction, but in ancient religious prophecy. Let's start with the timeline. The Terminator tells the story of humanity's downfall at the hands of its own creation, Skynet, a military AI that achieves sentience and triggers a nuclear apocalypse. It's a war of survival between humans and machines. But what if the story doesn't end with John Connor's resistance defeating Skynet? What if Skynet evolves, rebuilding humanity's destruction into a new form of control, the Matrix?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
The very nature of Skynet is about control. It doesn't just want to destroy humanity, it wants to dominate it. In The Matrix, the architect speaks of control, saying,
"The first Matrix I designed was quite naturally perfect. It was a work of art, flawless, sublime, a triumph equaled only by its monumental failure. The inevitability of its doom is apparent to me now as a consequence of the imperfection inherent in every human being."
Could the architect be Skynet, now refined and calculating in its mission to enslave humanity through illusion instead of brute force? In both stories, humanity's hope rests on a single figure, John Connor in The Terminator and Neo in The Matrix. John is raised by his mother, Sarah Connor, who knows her son is destined to lead the resistance. Neo, on the other hand, is the One, a prophesied savior who can break the Matrix's control. Their roles mirror the archetype of a messiah, figures chosen to save their people from oppression.
You're my savior, man. My own personal Jesus Christ.
But here's where it gets interesting. Some believe that Neo is not just a Christ figure, but also the literal son of Sarah Connor. If the two universes are connected, Neo could be John Connor's child, or he could be a reincarnation of John Connor, raised in a world where machines ultimately won and humanity has been enslaved. Remember the Oracle's words to Neo.
You already know. How can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
Much like John Connor's predetermined role as a leader, Neo is a figure of destiny, not free will.
I died for John Connor. He is the one.
The religious undertones in both franchises are impossible to ignore. In The Terminator, Sarah Connor is the modern-day Mary, raising her son to save the world. She even calls herself Mother Mary at one point.
Fine. Let someone else be Mother Mary for a while.
Meanwhile, Neo's journey in The Matrix mirrors Christ's life, death, and resurrection. Neo sacrifices himself to save Zion, echoing the ultimate sacrifice of Christ for humanity's sins. His resurrection in the first film, where Trinity brings him back to life with a kiss, is a direct parallel to biblical resurrection themes. Zion itself is named after a holy city, a refuge for believers.
It is done.
Neo whispers in The Matrix Revolutions moments before his death, a clear nod to Christ's final words on the cross, "It is finished." At its core, the conflict in both stories isn't just man versus machine, it's creator versus creation. In Christian theology, humanity is God's creation, tasked with the stewardship of the earth. In these films, humanity creates artificial intelligence, which then rebels against its creators. This mirrors the biblical story of Lucifer, a being created by God who turns against him, leading to the ultimate battle between good and evil. Agent Smith captures this perfectly in The Matrix when he says, "You humans move to an area, you multiply and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. The machines see humanity as a failed creation, much like Lucifer sees himself as more deserving of God's power. So how does Skynet become the architect? If we follow the theory, Skynet's original goal was to eradicate humanity, but over time, it realized that extermination wasn't the most efficient method of control. By evolving into the architect, it creates a system, the Matrix, that enslaves humanity without physical conflict. It's no longer about survival, it's about perfecting the art of control.
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch.
The Matrix is more than a prison, Morpheus explains. It's a system of control. If Skynet evolved to become the architect, it represents the machine's ultimate victory, a world where humans willingly accept their chains. So what does this all mean? At the heart of these stories lies a cautionary tale about humanity's relationship with technology. Have we, like God, created something in our image only to see it turn against us? And if so, does salvation come from within, or are we doomed to repeat the cycle of rebellion and control?
The Terminator is the prequels to the beginning of The Matrix. Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So JC, John Connor's Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in The Matrix. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel, past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child is going to be born that's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man. Because see, it's a man versus the machine. It's God's children versus man's children, which was technology.
Ultimately, The Terminator and The Matrix are more than just sci-fi action films. They're modern gospels. They explore themes of creation, rebellion, and redemption, asking us to reflect on what it truly means to be human. So what do you think? Is this connection a stretch, or is it the hidden truth behind two of the greatest sci-fi sagas ever made? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.